the SIAL Paris. We are on live, and today we are citizens of the world. We just talked about Indonesia, we just talked about the Philippines, and right now we are in Canada. Lianne, thank you so much to be with us today. You are from Animateur, Canada, and Xavier, you're French, but I'm going to be talking in French with you. No, joking. In English with you about the SIAL. You represent SIAL Canada. So the main question for you, Lianne, what can you see in terms of the market in Animateur in Canada and here in Paris? What are the main differences?
So Canada is actually the world's, the 12th largest market in the world in terms of looking at the absolute markets. And what we're seeing in Canada is that it's a relatively mature market. So some of the food innovations that we've been seeing, whilst the market continues to grow, a lot of it is about adding value or trying to really target a millennial population. In terms of these would be consumers between the ages of 25 to 35 years old that are typically a lot on the go, really trying to find the convenience types of food that are doing quite well.
What is a convenient type of food? Actually?
Anything that is on the go, so that would be your snack bar or yogurt on the go or drinking milk products. So that would be your typical like the Fairlife product or any type of packaging that is on the go. So it's very easy to open and to consume.
It's like the on the go is a step ahead. All over the world, we can talk about it. You know, we talked about it with Pinar from Animateur just before you, and we talked about it in the Philippines, and we talked about it also in Indonesia. So in Canada, it's the same. In France, it's the same. It's like America is coming to us, right? We're going faster and faster and faster, and we need stuff on the go just to feed ourselves.
Exactly, but I think what's unique about Canada is the multicultural nature of Canada. So immigration or developments in immigration policy has really attracted lots of consumers around the world to settle down in Canada. So a lot of the food innovation that we've been seeing, and Xavier has a few examples as well, is, for example, kefir or brogis that are actually being launched in Canada. So really trying to target different cultures as well. So Walmart, for example, opened up a food banner hall to attract different type of ethnic foods in Canada. So I think that's really key in the Canadian market.
Xavier, if we talk about the SIAL in Canada, what are the main differences that you can actually look at watching here in the SIAL Paris? Is it really, really different?
It's not necessarily in the representation of the exhibitors we see the difference. More the culture. Lianne was talking about the evolution of the market regarding especially the ethnicities. That's the #1 trend. I mean, some stats, quick stats. In 2050, 50% of the population will have some foreign origin in Canada. And actually, that speaks volume about the fact that now all the market, even the Canadian food processors, they have to adapt their products to this kind of population, because although on this 50% of population that we will have in 2050, 60% of them will come from Asia. So you have to adapt your products, you have to adapt the way that you are consuming to reach those targets.
Yeah.
And I've got a big example. I've got a big example. Like Coca-Cola, for example, in 2011, they decided to create like an ethnic department to reach and to have the good communication toward those targets because of the future. Because they believe that if they don't do so, they will lose some market share, which is already the case. Because when you look at the big CPGs in North America, and because of the millenniums, they lost like 25 billions of dollars last year,
which is enormous.
Which is enormous because they cannot talk for the moment.
Absolutely.
They don't have find the right way to talk to the millennials. So they have to find a way also to reach the ethnic population. And if Coca-Cola does that, I mean, every companies in the world should do that. I mean, even so obviously in Canada should do that. You know, because they have such a powerful brand. So, yes, ethnicity is a big trend. You were talking about on the go. I mean, there is two worlds colliding now. The retail and the restaurant industry are colliding. And you have like Italy coming in you know, the store Italy coming in New York and Chicago. They're going to come in Toronto within 6 months. And this kind of store is actually the two words in one area. In one area. So you have the restaurant, you have the gourmet store, and you have also in some kind of educational program, because they give some live demonstration to any people how to cook that, how to cook these meals and so on. So there is a new experience, a live demonstration, you know, gourmet food and so on.
And that's very interesting actually, because you said that in 2050 we have to rethink the food process in Canada, but all over the world. We just talked about it yesterday, about how to feed the planet in 2050, because we are going to be 9.7 billion inhabitants on Earth, which is enormous. And right now, we don't have enough resources. So talking about the numbers, you just took with you some slides that we're going to have a look to. And looking at the sides, what can you tell us about this market right now, Lianne?
I think this one is the easiest. So in terms of some of the numbers that we track at Euromonitor, we can say that the Canadian food market is worth over $40 billion US dollars, of which mainly the majority of the foods that Canadians eat would be staples. So that would be a typical bread and pastas, but also dairy is very important. And we've seen a number of launches here in dairy, especially kefir, for example, that I was talking about, is doing quite well. And also Greek yogurt, which has been a big trend, also that started in the US, but it moved to Canada as well. That does really well because also it has a health angle. So it carries high level of protein, and this is targeting the millennial population as well, for consumers to really try and find a healthy food product as well.
But Xavier, what do you think of the Canadian market right now, and also about the culture, the food, the vegetables, the fruits, the meats? Do you produce as much as you wish, as you want? Do you have like this point of view from your SIAL point of view?
Actually, the Canadian market is more an importation market. They do obviously produce a lot of things for them. They have a special policy regarding the dairy market, where they have some quotas, and they do produce for them. First of all, they have an obligation to produce for the market before sending some dairy products all over the world. They have to, supply the local market. And which is very interesting also is all the agreement that Canada is trying to have with the free trade agreements all over the world. We have the CETA agreement, obviously with the EU, which is going to change a little bit the landscape regarding the dairy products, because we're going to have more cheese coming from Europe. But on the opposite, they're going to be able to export their meat, their beef. Actually, because it's a huge producer of meat products, and they had a big problem before that. Was a lot of meats are with hormones and so on. So now they have to ship their meat, but with a small amount of hormone inside.
In a healthier way.
In a healthier way.
Like all over the world.
In organic, you were talking about organic. This market has tripled since 2006 in consumption.
It's a tsunami all over the world too. We have to finish this TV show, and I'm really sorry. I was so happy to have you today. If I could just bring you one of your dream, what do you wish for your country, for Canada, to just happen in the food industry in the future? What do you think of it, Lianne?
That's a very good question. I would like to see more of the ethnic foods that we've seen a number of launches being introduced in Europe as well, because it's very interesting to see the different food launches there. And I think Europe still is a little bit behind in terms of incorporating different types of ethnic.
It was always a step behind Canada, since years, I have to confess. How about you, Xavier?
Yeah, I would like to see more food processors coming to the SIAL Paris show, because there is a lack of representation in Canada. We have a good Canadian pavilion here, but it's not necessarily the representation of the know-how in Canada. So I'm a little bit frustrated by the Canadian representation.
Well, we wish you that next time we'll come to you, and then you'll show us the Canadian SIAL, so then we could see it with our eyes. Thank you so much for being with me. Lianne and Xavier from the SIAL Canada, and Lianne from Euromonitor. Okay, you're doing yourself. I will see you at 2:30 p.m. We will be talking about the evolution of the retail market because evolution is all over the world right now. So stay tuned and thank you so much for watching.